Welcome back to The Big Bloom. I'm your host, Juditha, and on this podcast, we talk about all things mindset. We talk about your fears, your goals, your dreams, your insecurities, your comfort zone, literally all the things that matter when you're trying to create your dream life, because I'm trying to do the same thing. So trust me when I say that I get it, okay? So today, what I want to talk about is if your attention doesn't change, then neither does your reality. So, what do I mean by that? A lot of times you might have heard this before, but whatever's going on internally is what you're experiencing externally. So if you look around at your current life, look around at everything that you have, look around at the job you work, the friends you have, the car, like everything is just a reflection of who you currently are. That doesn't make it good or bad. That is subjective. It's just a reflection of who you are. So if you see anything in your reality, if you feel anything in your current reality that you don't like, that you want to change, that you want to make better, the answer is, well, what do I need to change about myself? Because if who I am now is producing the results that I'm getting now, then that means that if I change, my actions will change. And if my actions change, then what I'm producing in my life will change. So that's what I mean when I say, if your attention doesn't change, then your reality doesn't change. Because if you don't change what you're paying attention to, then how can you become the type of woman who actually makes the changes to the life that you say that you want? So what does that mean? What is your attention? I like to break your attention up into two different things. There's your perspective, and then there's your focus. When we are talking about perspective, your perspective is kind of like the stance that you choose to have when you look at something. That's the best way to explain it without like having to Google it. Basically, it's like either being a glass half full or half empty type of person. Like, which way are you going to choose to see this? Are you going to choose to see the good in it, or are you going to choose to see the bad in it? So that's the first place where you have power. It's your perspective. The second thing is your focus. So your focus is overall what you're paying attention to. If your perspective is how you choose to view something, your focus is what you're paying attention to in the first place, right? So let's say I'm looking at a scene, right? And in that scene, there's flowers, there's a garbage can, there's animals. My focus is that scene, right? But my perspective, I can choose to zoom in and look at the garbage, or I can choose to zoom in and look at the flowers. So that's the difference between focus and perspective. I hope that makes sense, right? And the reason why these two things are important is because when you make a shift to your focus and to your perspective, when you start seeing life as, you know what, maybe these things are happening for me. And I'm not saying, I always like to put this disclaimer in there because I'm never going to claim that you need to be positive all the time. I'm never going to say that you need to think positive thoughts all the time and you just have to be inundated with positivity. That's not the case. What you need to do is expand your capacity to feel all things, whether it's positive or negative, and still be able to move forward. Okay, it's never about how the fuck can I be positive all day, every day, 24/7. Like, I'm never gonna tell you that that's the goal, because I am not positive 24/7, right? However, what you can do is expand your capacity to feel sad, to feel happy, to feel jealous, to feel good, to feel bad, like whatever. Expand your capacity to feel all things. And no matter what you feel, still be able to say, this is the life I want, and I'm going to go get it. This is the person I'm trying to become, and I'm going to do whatever I got to do to become her. Okay, so that's my disclaimer. But what I'm saying is, when you change what you focus on, when you focus on solutions instead of problems, right? Instead of waking up every day and thinking, I still don't have enough today. I still don't have enough today. I still have to go to the same job. My business still isn't taking off. People still aren't buying. Like, yeah, you can focus on that. Or you can focus on something else, right? You can focus on, okay, what are the solutions to these problems? What can I do to get out of this? How can I find financial stability? Like, how can I open up myself to more discomfort so that I fix these issues, right? And then your perspective can be, what lesson could this be teaching me? How could this moment be helping me become someone stronger? How could this job that I hate be pushing me into my business even more? Like, you get to choose your perspective, you get to choose your focus. And I'm telling you, this is what started to change my own life, right? And I never claimed to have the perfect life, right? However, I have a very happy life. I have a life that I'm very content with because I am very particular about what I choose to focus on. I'm very particular about what gets my attention because I know how life was before I was selective with my attention, right? I know how life was when I focused on the struggle, when I focused on the job that I hated, when I focused on all the things that were going wrong. I've lived and experienced that life and I don't want to go back, okay? So all I'm saying is not much had to change before my life started to feel completely different. All I changed was what I was focused on. When I stopped focusing on, damn, there is a problem. If it's not one thing, it's another. When I stopped focusing on that, the solutions started to show up, y'all. And it wasn't always like the best solutions. It wasn't, and when I say the best, I mean like not every solution to every problem that you have is going to feel good in the moment, right? Like, for example, for me, at one point I had to leave an apartment that I really liked because I couldn't afford it and I had to move back home with my mom. That wasn't a solution that I wanted, but it was a solution that I had to have in that moment with who I was being. That was the best solution for me at the time. So that's what I mean when I say, when you start focusing on solutions, when you let go of the perspective that your life is bad and you're unlucky and things only happen to you and woe is me, like when you let go of the victim mentality and you choose to focus instead and put your attention instead on what you have to be grateful for, on how life can feel good now, on the little things that, you can be happy about right now, your life will start to change because it's going to start to reflect all the goodness that you've been believing exists already. I wanted to keep this episode short and sweet, but simply put, the main message here, like if nothing else, is to remember, like if you want your life to change and you don't know where to start by looking and paying attention to where your attention goes. What are you focused on most of the day? Is it what's going wrong or what's going right? When was the last time you stopped and you said, look at all these things that I have to be grateful for? Even if it's the littlest things, and I mean the littlest things. Okay, waking up today, having legs that work, having arms that work, having a mouth and a voice, like whatever it is. If you can play this game where you search for the little things to be grateful for, you will be rewarded. The universe will reward you. You will start to see and get more proof of things that you can be grateful for. I don't know why it works like that, y'all. That's just how it works. Okay? So be very, very selfish with what gets your attention. And I promise you, if you can do this for 30 days, if you are very selective with what you choose to focus on, with where you place your attention, you are going to look up in 30 days and you're going to say, damn, not much physically might have changed about my life, but it feels like everything is different. I have experienced this time and time again with clients that I've worked with, and I've experienced it for myself. Trust me, this might not be the answer you want, but it's the answer you need, okay? If you have been feeling like life just isn't changing, it feels shitty, you've been in survival mode, switch your attention and then come back here and comment and tell me what changed for you, okay? This is it for today. I wanted to keep it short and sweet. I will see you guys on the next episode. I hope you bloom today. Oh, and ladies, if you are looking for a community, if you want to be around people who think like you, like me, who are ambitious, who are ambitious and who are creating the life that they say they want, join Rewired Society, okay? It is free. And there's also a paid tier. If you join the paid tier, you get access to the whole course. But if you just want community, if you want conversation, if you want just some tips and advice, you can join for free as well. I'm going to leave the link below in the description box. If you're listening on podcasts, it's going to be in the show notes. If you're on YouTube, it's going to be in the description box. Join the Rewired Society, okay? I will see you guys on the next one.